Amsterdam Kitchen. Join us live on Saturday mornings
from 10 till 12
on Broadcast Amsterdam.
Or catch up later.
It's all online.
You're right. Welcome to the Amsterdam Kitchen for Saturday the 28th of September.
Indeed. Hello.
10 till 12. So we've got a great show ready for you. 2 hours of local food stories. We've got a special guest, Paulami Joshi from Spice Trip with Paulami. She's doing amazing things. Food courses. She's got a great website with reviews of local places, not just Indian restaurants, spice recommendations, all sorts. And then regular features, our own reviews.
Of course, yes. Hot off the press.
Yeah. In season. I think we're going to talk about apples, is that right?
It's apples this week, that's right. And we've got drinkables with kombucha and 5 food faves looking at our favourite social media sites.
And blogs and resources.
Blogs, yeah. And markets and more. So I think we will be doing very well to fit it all in, Kathy, today.
Occasionally something gets bumped to the next week. So, it may not happen. If you were looking forward to one of those segments, we might, you never know if we run out of time. Because we do go on a bit about local food, don't we, Gilly?
Just a bit, but, we're passionate.
Amsterdam Kitchen. Yeah, you're back with Amsterdam Kitchen. And our special guest, Paulami, is in the studio.
Welcome.
Hi. Yeah, welcome to Broadcast Amsterdam. Now, you run Spice Trip with Paulami. It's like a cookery courses and lots of other things. So tell us, first of all, what brings you to Amsterdam?
What brings me to Netherlands would be more of an appropriate question because I moved here 2.5 years ago, just as any other Indian moves as an expat, I would say.
Yeah.
We are now growing in numbers
Yeah.
sooner or later. I moved here because my husband started working with a company called Shell. I don't know if you know about it. And in Den Haag. And that's how we decided to move to the Netherlands. 2 years back, I was not sure what a country like Netherlands would be. I think back there in India, we only knew Amsterdam.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't know anything beyond that. And it's just such a big country, so warm people. And that's what brings me here to the Netherlands. Yes.
And did you have any kind of a clue what you would be doing, that you would bring this kind of activity and work to Amsterdam? Or did you know what you were going to be doing?
Not really. 2 years back, till March 2017, I used to work full-time as a marketing and a PR consultant in the education sector. Never thought this is what I could see myself doing. I liked talking because that's what I used to do, marketing and sales. So you go ahead and talk to people and meet them. Loved food, loved eating, loved discussing culture with people. And I think when you live in a country like this, or especially in Amsterdam, you meet so many people from different cultures. And that's what made me think this is where not just my culture that I can bring through food, but I can also learn through these cooking workshops from people as to what they do and how they cook the same dish, at their homes.
How long did you take you? Because I think you've spotted a gap in the market and you've gone for it with Spice Trip with Paulami, lovely sounding cookery courses. But how long did it take you to identify that gap and decide to go for this?
I think just when we moved, my husband moved a year before me. I wasn't sure if I would be happy to live here. I just came and visited the country and went back. But I think during that period of when we just were new here, I was trying to check the restaurants, as an Indian, you wouldn't like to order in or go to an Indian restaurant because, of course, you can cook that at home. But why not try what's happening around? And that's how I went ahead and went to restaurant menus on all these websites. And then I walked into a restaurant and literally I saw that every restaurant is selling the same food. And that's not true because in India, it's not just, chicken tikka or butter chicken, paneer, butter masala. The country is so huge that it's not supposed to be just that. And that's what triggered me that, hey, people need to know that Indian food is not just this, and it's not just always about spicy food. It's spiced, but it's not spicy. And that's why the name Spice Trip.
Yes, wonderful.
And you're from when you were living in India, you actually moved around within India. Am I correct?
A lot.
A lot,
yes.
right. So you have got real experience of what each regional cuisine is like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was born in the east of India, but I don't think I lived there much. But I've been everywhere around, and because if you live in a city like Mumbai, you will have people from different parts of the country, and growing up, going to their homes, seeing their mothers make the food is just so much knowledge that you can gain. And then, of course, with the travels and across in India, the knowledge kept growing. That's all.
I love the confidence with which you say, everyone cooks Indian food or their own food in India, and why would we eat out? And it's just like so many people from other countries or nationalities or cooking cuisines would never make that statement, because it's like we're not all good cooks and we do need to eat out. But I love the assumption that most Indian households will be really good at cooking Indian food.
I assume so. Yeah. If you go to India and if you're grown up in India as a woman, as a girl, you are always, not that it's expected for you to cook, but then you are considered to be a good girl if you can cook. Now, that was not the case at my home for sure, but I always had the interest, and I ended up sitting with my mom, seeing what she did.
Yeah.
So that's how I learned what it is.
I'm a great believer that they should teach cooking and home economics and things in schools for everybody, girls and boys.
So many good reasons to do that.
Unfortunately not, but we have your cooking courses, especially for the Indian foods. What kind of like, how do your cooking courses happen? Like, where are they? What kind of ambience? Because there's quite a few things you cover in them, not just, one or two dishes.
No, I try to bring the whole array of food, because an Indian food or an Indian plate at a home will not be just one dish and a rice or a bread. It's going to be an array of things. It's always starting with something and then something else. So it's almost 5 or 6 dishes on a plate. And that's why I thought, hey, maybe this is what the workshops could also have, like all these dishes. And I know how difficult or easy it is, and I know it can be done in 3 hours. And that's how I do it. I try to time them all up. I have like what you call in Dutch, the draaiboek, like an agenda, a Gantt chart. So who does what, when, how much time it takes, what kind of spices to be used. So I have this whole timeline, and I keep changing the menu every time I have a workshop, so that there is a challenge for me, more than the participants.
Cool.
Yes, I loved. I did have a look at your website. I loved the array of recipes that were on there, including one I noticed for jackfruit biryani, which we mentioned last week, Kathy, didn't we? I've got my jackfruit in a tin ready to go. I've never cooked with it before, so I saw that recipe. I thought, I'll give that a go.
Yeah, because it's kind of a meat substitute, and it would go well, in a biryani. Amazing.
Which is a lovely layered dish, isn't it?
I just made jackfruit, Sri Lankan jackfruit curry, actually yesterday for lunch. I mean, you should have been around.
Yes, please.
The next time.
But no, as I say, the recipes on your site, and they're laid out very clearly, and there's a nice function where you can times them up if you're making for a bigger. So I just thought very handy, as you said.
Oh, for deciding on different quantities, how many people you're feeding.
Exactly. Yeah. And but and just how much time each dish is going to prepare and stuff. So very user friendly, and. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's what I mean. People say if you're giving cooking workshops, why have recipes on the website? Then people are not going to come to you. But my idea is, hey, if people try something, they would like to know more.
Yes.
And that's why they walk in,
And you always pick up more from seeing someone else cook.
Yes.
In any case, no matter how well you think you know a recipe, there's always more to learn. Yeah.
I loved your shout out because I was doing on Facebook. You did a shout out for this cardamom mango mousse, and I thought, just the words, it sounded so brilliant, because you were harping into the end of summer. You don't want to give up summer.
Podcast Amsterdam.
Welcome back. We're talking to Paulami Joshi from Spice Trip with Paulami. And we've been finding out a bit more about your events. Where are they? Because they're not in your own home, are they?
No, I don't have them at home for now, but I do it in Amsterdam very often, at least 1 or 2 in a month. Now that people are back from their vacation from the slums, I'm not really kind of pushing it too much, but that's why I had it in the end of September. But generally it's, in the beginning of the month, mid of the month. So sometimes it goes up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of times people ask for private workshops, which is exciting because then there are families celebrating their grandmother's birthday or their anniversary with family through a workshop. It's very nice.
Yeah.
But generally I do it in Amsterdam, yes, most of them. But I also do it very often in Rotterdam, in Den Haag. So I travel a lot, but Amsterdam is closer and I just love it.
Yeah.
Is it in a kind of event space or a restaurant or something?
I host it generally at a professional cooking studio. I rent a cooking studio because I just love the fact that my participants are going to get the whole feel of cooking. Not the idea that I'm going to teach them professionally how good can they be a chef after the end of the workshop. That's not the idea. The idea is that they should have fun, but also in a safe professional environment so that they know, hey, we've learned something. They have aprons and they chop with the... And also because you have different food regulations that you have to follow when you are in Europe or the EU food regulations. So you need to have all of those things
Standard,
based on that.
Oh, yes. You've got all sorts to, because it's fun, but it's a business, so you've got to do it properly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the people that come, how familiar or not familiar are they with Indian cuisine generally? It's very different. A lot of times what I do in the start of my workshop is I give them all the spices, like most of them, 5 of them that I work with regularly at home, always in my spice box. So I ask them, hey, what are these? There have been times where people have seen curcuma or turmeric, and a lot of them, they were like, oh, is that mustard powder? I'm like, oh my God, you just did a fatal mistake by calling a turmeric powder as mustard powder. So, I mean, that doesn't happen very often, but to not be able to differentiate between a cumin powder and a coriander powder, I can understand that. But people do come with a little bit idea because given the fact that you have Indonesian culture very much ingrained in the Netherlands, people do realize what a red chili powder is or a cumin powder is. So they kind of know that. And their cooking skills?
Yeah, on a scale to 1 to 10, I would say they come at least in 6. Yeah, not that bad because most of them, there are people who really can't chop an onion. But hey, that's what the whole idea is. It's fun and with the whole, it's not, I would say, a peer pressure, but it's more like it's a fun
bonding
environment.
Kind of experience,
people have made friends. I've had workshops where the second workshop people have come with the ones whom they found in the earlier workshop. So they've made
really
friends
nice.
and they come together. So it's not always about how much they can cook.
Yeah,
But yeah.
Do you have any favourite place to source your ingredients and spices?
I go a lot to the Asian stores, namely Amazing Oriental, which is, I think the mecca for almost every Asian ingredients that you can find, including Indian food. So you have a lot of spices that I would look like. And also, surprisingly, a lot of Indians don't think, but you can actually walk into a Moroccan or a Turkish store as well. You do get literally everything there, too. So I keep, just straddling between the Asian stores and the Moroccan Turkish stores.
Yeah. And basically in those nice big bags rather than the tiny little jars.
Piddly little.
No, I have a a cupboard full of just spices. So if you walk into my house, you might just smell spice.
Great.
Lovely.
Oh, no, that's good.
Actually, can I just interject while we're talking about the spices themselves? Black cardamom and green cardamom.
Yes.
I've come across recipes that are very, they're very keen to ensure that you use one or the other. Mm-hmm. Can you explain why? What's the difference?
So black cardamom is always very strong. if you're making a biryani, like the one that we were just talking about earlier about jackfruit biryani. So if you are using a biryani, if you're making one, then I would say 1 black cardamom. If you're making a dish for 6 people, 1.
Wow.
Perfect. Huh? But if you have to make like a chai or a tea, the Indian tea, or if you want to make a dessert like the one that we spoke about, cardamom mousse, cardamom mango mousse, then you use the green, because green is a little subtle. And the black is very strong. You don't want to use 5 black cardamoms into your dish.
So you could interchange them, but it's just be wary of how much you use.
I would prefer using the green more, because it has the flavor that I would prefer in my food. The black makes it just a lot of times it's
you're in danger of going too strong.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
I must say, there might be people listening who think, well, I could cook up a good curry at home. Myself as well, like I cook curries quite regularly. My most well-used curry cookbook is by Madhur Jaffrey, who's more of a British Indian. Yeah. It's an old cookbook and it's so battered. It's like from the 80s or earlier, I'm sure. But it's my absolute go-to. But that's it. You get into your safe ways, even if you are used to cooking curries and stuff. Yeah. And with the ingredients as well. So I always do the same ones. And I think by hearing all the different things on your website and looking at some of the recipes, I'm feeling more adventurous already.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm thinking, even because we have this thing called the Amsterdam Cooking Club, I really want us to do a curry night. And then we can all try different spicy things.
That's interesting, of course, yeah. Just introducing the world of spices to everybody is as exciting. Yeah. Spices don't need to be spicy.
No,
absolutely.
Subtle and hot. And then you also do not just cooking. What's the one with the, I can't say it properly, Ayurveda?
Ayurveda. Yeah, Ayurveda. So I try to inculcate the Ayurvedic style of cooking, or the kind of things that you have. Ayurveda talks about how can you use home-based ingredients to cure yourself. So, for example, if you've burnt yourself or you have a blister, just apply a bit of turmeric paste, and then you don't have to use any kind, or coconut oil.
Yes.
Those kind of things. If you are suffering from cold and cough, then have some cloves. These are kind of tips and tricks that everybody's learned when we were growing up, at least. And I try to inculcate those in my cooking. And I have a lot of vegan Ayurvedic cooking workshops that I do. For example, one today. Yeah, so.
I'm pretty sure there's a good remedy then for something I've got. Like, it's not embarrassing. It's like, I've got this graze because I fell over in tennis on my knee, and it keeps sticking to my jeans. Like, because it's like, so maybe if I put some turmeric powder, it will sting a bit at first, but then it won't stick to my jeans each time. Seal it up.
Yeah,
dry it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Turmeric's amazing, isn't it?
Turmeric is known to be the only anti-inflammatory or anti-infection kind of a spice, and the whole idea when I walk into a Starbucks or any other cafe and they sell the golden milk, or curcuma latte, and I'm like, hey, this is what we grew up drinking when we were sick, when it's winter, it's always that. And now that it gets all the fame, just makes me feel, hey, the world is moving.
Yes.
It's going towards curcuma now. Yeah, it's exciting.
Fantastic, yeah.
So, well, if you liked the sound of that, you've got a course coming up on the 13th of October. That's a Sunday.
That's a Sunday,
What time is it?
It starts at 10:30 in the morning with a small introduction, a small test on spices. And then it goes around till 1:15 is when we all cook all the 5 dishes. I'm going to be having samosas and then some paneer makhani, which is paneer butter masala. Then we have chickpea curry or the chana masala. We also have, I think pulao and all these, some naan, which also people call as the naan bread, but naan. So we have all these dishes that I'm going to be teaching on the 13th of October from 10:30, and then by 1:30 we should be done with everything and we eat.
I was going to say, do you then culminate with eating all together?
Absolutely. That's what you want. You want to eat what you've cooked.
Yeah.
Very nice. So with the eating and also learning, that's €60 per person, and discounts if you book more than one place or something.
Yes.
So that sounds brilliant. You better book. It sounds like it's going to be popular. But if you can't make that one, you sounds like you're running them regularly then throughout the autumn.
I would have a few more in November and December. I haven't published the dates yet, but if people want to if anybody who's listening would like to know about it, they can always follow the page. a website, and they would definitely get to know more about the dates that are coming up.
Fantastic.
You've got a great website, spicetrip.nl.
Yes, thank you.
What a great website. Short and sweet and exactly...
It says exactly what it is.
Not like Broadcast Amsterdam, which is so long. Spicetrip.nl if you want to find out more about Spice Trip with Paulami. Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Amsterdam Kitchen. Join us live on Saturday mornings
From 10 till 12.
on Broadcast Amsterdam.
We'll catch up later.
It's all online.